I believed my best friend when she said my fiancé had cheated, so I slept with his brother to get even. When he caught us, I called the police and claimed I wasn't safe. Now I've learned he never betrayed me. What am I supposed to do? I'm 26 and 3 months ago I got engaged to Alvaro, my partner of the last 2 years. If you had asked me before this, I would have told you he was the most noble man I ever met. Attentive, hardworking, patient, a guy who waits for you with dinner served, who everyone likes and who has a family that always treated me like another daughter. And yet, I ended up sleeping with his brother. And yes, I did it because I thought he had cheated on me first. It all started one afternoon. I was with my two best friends, Claudia and Merlin, having a drink at home. Gossip, laughter, the usual. Until Claudia's face changed. She got serious. She looked at me as if she was going to tell me someone had died. You have to see this. She handed me her phone and there it was. A video of Alvaro kissing another woman. Not a greeting kiss, not an accident, not a misunderstanding. It was a kiss with body, with hands, with desire. She was laughing. He was looking at her with that smile that used to be mine. I remember saying nothing. I stayed still. The phone trembled in my hands. I felt my throat close, my eyes burn. I didn't cry. Not at that moment. Merlin was the first to speak. Friend, are you okay? You have to do something. You can't let him get away with it. Confront him. I said with a broken voice. What if he tells me it was a mistake, that nothing else happened? Claudia looked at me as if I were an idiot. What if more did happen? What if he's seeing her? What if he's already decided to cancel you? And you're still dreaming of the wedding? And then they told me. Direct, raw. Pay him back in kind. What? Let him feel the pain. Let him know what it feels like. Don't leave him in peace. Let him lose something too. I'm not a vindictive person, I never was. But at that moment, I wasn't myself. I was a broken, betrayed, enraged version of myself. And when you're hurt and someone tells you that you're right to be, all you want is revenge. For the other person to suffer as you're suffering. That's how it all began. I didn't confront him. I didn't show him the video. I kept silent. I started to distance myself, to avoid him, to pretend I was stressed about the wedding, that I needed space, that I wasn't feeling myself. He believed me. He hugged me tightly from behind, told me everything would be okay, that he was there for whatever I needed. He left me notes on the bathroom mirror. We'll be okay. I love you. And every time I read one, my blood boiled. I thought, do you say this to her too? Do you hug her like that? Do you make her feel safe while you stab me in the back? I became a detective. I checked his phone when he was asleep, his social media, his emails, nothing, all clean, not a suspicious chat, not a weird excuse, and that made me sicker. How can someone be so perfect and a liar at the same time? I talked to Claudia again. What if I'm wrong? Wrong about what? About what you saw. About what you felt. About being stupid if you keep letting him fool you. She told me that, without filter, and it broke me. So I made a decision. I don't know if it was the right one, I don't even know if it was mine, but I made it. I went into action. Not an elegant or strategic plan. It was a clumsy, reactive, improvised plan, like a cry for help disguised as rebellion. I started to pretend that I no longer cared about Alvaro, that I was distant because of wedding nerves, when in reality it was because I couldn't look at him without feeling stupid. Every time he kissed my forehead, I clenched my teeth. Every time he said, I love you, I thought, you say that to her too. And no, I never told him anything about the video. I never gave him a chance to explain because in my head I had already condemned him. And then came the weekend that changed everything. Alvaro had a business trip. He would be gone from Friday until Sunday night. I had known for weeks, and as soon as he closed the door with his suitcase in hand, I felt a horrible mix of relief and anger. As if it was finally my turn to play. I called Claudia and Merlin. They came with wine, snacks. And that attitude of, tonight, you're getting out of this hole, no matter what. At first we tried to act like nothing was wrong. Music, gossip. We laughed loudly to cover the pain that crept into every silence. But when the second bottle opened, we were already entering dangerous territory. I didn't want to talk about Alvaro anymore. I wanted to forget him, or at least numb myself. And Katia said, pouring another glass, "You decided to take justice into your own hands." "Justice," I replied with tired laughter. "I don't even know what that is anymore." Merlin looked at me seriously for the first time that night. "You're not okay, friend. And that guy is driving you crazy. Do you want him to appear in another story with the same girl from the video tomorrow? You crying here and him messing around over there. And what do you want me to do? Sleep with a stranger to even the score?" Katia shrugged. "It doesn't have to be a stranger." And then the doorbell rang. We all looked at each other. I went to open it. It was Jose. Jose, Alvaro's younger brother, the one who was always cool, who made me laugh, who once told me over drinks that Alvaro had been his childhood hero. "Am I interrupting?" he said with that warm, guilty smile. "What are you doing here?" "I came to drop off some documents Alvaro forgot. He told me I could stop by here. He left today." "Didn't he tell you?" "No," he scratched his neck uncomfortably. "Well, I'm already here. Is it bothering you if I stay a while?" Katia and Merlin invited him in as if they already knew this was going to happen. They offered him wine. He accepted, and suddenly the four of us were in the living room drinking, talking about nothing. After a while, Katia and Merlin said goodbye. They hugged me tight. Merlin whispered in my ear, "Let go." And they left. I was left alone with Jose. Silence. A strange silence, not uncomfortable, but charged. I poured myself some more wine. He did too. "And how are you?" he asked me. And then everything loosened. I told him everything about the video, about how I saw him with another woman, about how I felt like I was dying, and Jose listened to me without interrupting, without judging me. When I finished, he said something that echoed inside me. "I don't understand how he could do that to you. If I were with someone like you, I would never mess it up." I stared at him. His eyes were sincere and I felt weak. It wasn't planned. There wasn't a slow kiss or a clumsy approach. It was direct. I kissed him and he kissed me back. And then, on that same sofa where Alvaro proposed to me, where we talked about having children, where he promised me a life together, I slept with his brother. It wasn't romantic, it wasn't beautiful, it was a mix of anger, alcohol, and a void that grew and grew. When I woke up the next day, my mouth was dry, my head was throbbing, and a guilt that stuck to my skin like tar. Jose was still sleeping. I got up, put on a long t-shirt, went to the kitchen to drink water, and when I came back the door opened. Alvaro came back a day early. He froze when he saw me. I disheveled in his t-shirt in his house. And Jose, getting out of the armchair, half naked, with a face like, "This is not happening." Alvaro didn't say a word, but his eyes, God, his eyes, "What the fuck is this?" And then I knew there was no turning back. He had discovered us. Alvaro didn't scream. Not at first, he just stood there in the doorway as if time had frozen. Me in his t-shirt. His brother half naked getting up from the armchair, and the silence, dense, suffocating, as if the world was holding its breath. "What the fuck is this?" he finally said. His voice was not a roar, it was a cold, lethal shot. Jose stood up with his hands raised as if to stop a bomb. "Alvaro, it's not what it looks like, but it was. It was exactly what it looked like." There was no time to explain. Alvaro lunged at him without thinking. A punch, a shove, a torn scream. Jose fell backwards, knocking over a lamp. I got in the middle, screamed their names, tried to separate them, but Alvaro was no longer Alvaro. He was pure fury, out of control. Pain turned into violence. Jose hit him back. Alvaro pushed him against the wall. I cried, trembled, screamed. No one heard me. So I did the only thing I could think of. I called the police. My fingers trembled as I dialed. I could barely tell the operator, "My fiancé is out of control. I feel in danger." I locked myself in the room while they continued to fight. I quickly got dressed in whatever I found. When I looked in the mirror, I no longer recognized myself. Dark circles under my eyes, disheveled, broken. The sofa was still messy. The blanket, thrown, the perfume from the night before still floating in the air. 7 minutes later, the police were at the door. They entered without delay. One shouted, "Separate them now." Another took my arm carefully. "Are you okay?" "I am." "Yes." I was just scared. Who assaulted you? No one. He came in and got violent. He lunged at his brother. I didn't lie. Not entirely, but I omitted. I omitted that I had been the spark that ignited that bomb. Alvaro's knuckles were bleeding. Jose's lip was split. This is my house. She cheated on me with my brother. And you're handcuffing me? One of the officers turned to me. Do you feel unsafe with this person? I looked at him. Everything hurt, and at the same time I wanted him to suffer. To feel that I had some control. So I said, yes, I feel unsafe. The policeman nodded. By law, he must accompany us for 24 hours. Alvaro looked at me. Not with hatred, with heartbreak. As if I had just shattered his soul. You're doing this, you. I live here too, I told him. And I don't feel safe. He didn't scream anymore. He didn't argue, he just lowered his head. And they took him away. Jose didn't say a word. He just grabbed his jacket, looked at me as if he wanted to say something, and left. He didn't even touch my shoulder. I was left alone with the moral hangover, the floor in chaos and the house as empty as my chest. The next 24 hours were a mix of crying, silence, vomiting, and a million questions. What did I do? Why didn't I talk to him? Why did I trust a video without confronting him? But the regret came too late. The next day, at the same time they took him away, Alvaro came back. He didn't say anything. He walked in, went to the closet, started taking out my clothes and putting them in a suitcase. Without looking at me, without explaining, I ran to him. What are you doing? Stop, Alvaro, please. Doing what I should have done days ago. Listen to me. We can talk. Talk after you messed with my brother in my house? You cheated on me too. I yelled with a burning heart. I saw the video. He stopped there. For the first time in days he looked at me, not with fury, with confusion. What video? The one Katia showed me. You were kissing another woman. I saw it with my own eyes. Alvaro walked to the desk, opened a drawer, took out a printed sheet, threw it at me. That's a deepfake. It has the watermark of the AI company that generated it. I made it viral so everyone could see how easy it is to fall for. They didn't even edit the edges well. No, it can't be. Are you really that stupid? Didn't you realize? I thought you thought that sleeping with my brother was a valid way to clear your doubts. And then he told me. I realized too late how foolish you were. But it's done. This is where we part ways. He put the suitcase at the entrance outside my house. And this time I didn't argue because I understood that there was nothing left that could save me. I left with a suitcase and a face I no longer wanted to look at, not even in reflections. I rented a room, a hovel with dampness, the smell of confinement, and a mattress thinner than my dignity. I had no home, no partner, no story to tell that didn't start with, I slept with my fiancé's brother. I spent hours watching the video, the same one Katia had shown me. Zoom. Pause. Slow motion, and there I saw it in the lower right corner. The logo was so obvious that it hurt to accept it. So I did what I should have done from the beginning. I asked. I opened a fake profile on an editing forum and uploaded the video. Is it real? Could it be made with artificial intelligence? The answers came like a collective slap. Fake. Basic deepfake. Look at the flicker. Visible watermark. The audio isn't even well synchronized. They used a cheap preset. You can tell by the edges. It wasn't real. It never was. I called Katia. Who gave you the video? What? Why? Tell me who. I need to know. It was Jose. He told me to show it to you when you were alone. I thought you already knew and just wanted proof. Silence. Katia, did you know it was fake? Fake? How could I? I only saw it once. I thought it was real. It looked credible. I hung up. I was left with the phone in my hand. Jose. He gave it to me. He showed up that night. He told me Alvaro was an idiot. He kissed me. He slept with me, and now he wasn't answering my messages. He planned it. He knew the video was fake. He wanted to sabotage the engagement. My skin burned. I felt the floor move beneath my feet. I tried to call Alvaro. Nothing. I left him voice messages. Silence. I sent him an email. He marked it as read and nothing else. I didn't know if I wanted to go back or just for him to listen to me. So I did the only thing I had left. I went to see his parents. His mother opened the door. She looked at me with a mix of pity and weariness, as if she already knew what I was going to say. Can we talk? They let me in. I cried. I told them everything from the beginning. The video, my reaction, the night with Jose, Alvaro's arrival, the police, the mistake, the truth. I didn't defend myself, I just let it out like someone spitting out something rotten. His mother took my hand. This is a disaster. No one wins here. I know. His father was tougher. As always, what you did was wrong. But Jose is no saint. He also has responsibility. If he knew it was fake and showed it to you, that's another betrayal. I nodded. I don't want them to forgive me, I just want to talk. One last time. His mother looked at me. We'll invite him this weekend. You come too. We can't leave this like this. If we don't talk, everything will go to hell. Do you think there's any chance? She pressed her lips together. I don't know, but if you don't try, certainly not. That Saturday I dressed like someone going to court. When I arrived, my legs were trembling. In the living room were the three of them, Alvaro, his parents, and Jose. Jose didn't even look at me. Alvaro did, but with cold eyes. What is she doing here? He asked. We invited her, his mother replied. This has to end one way or another. His father supported the idea. It would be best to forgive each other. Alvaro laughed without humor, almost with disgust. Forgive each other. Family comes first, his mother said. We can't cancel the wedding for a night of rage. He looked at them as if they were delirious. Are you listening to yourselves? Alvaro's father began. Forgiven infidelity with my brother for the sake of the family? You're crazy. I also felt betrayed, I said. Finally, the video, and it didn't occur to you to ask me if it was real? It was easier to sleep with my brother than to send me a message. It wasn't like that. I was devastated. Of course. And Jose was conveniently close. What a coincidence. He looked at Jose, and for the first time I saw something break in his face. Did you know it was fake? Alvaro asked him. Jose didn't answer. I asked you something. I didn't do it for bad, Jose stammered. The room fell silent. Freezing. How could you? Alvaro said. Low, broken. And he got up. He walked towards the door. Where are you going? His mother asked. Where do you think? To clean up the mess you wanted to sweep under the rug. And he left. Hours later I learned that he didn't just leave the house. He posted a photo. Jose and I asleep on the sofa, my head on his chest, the blanket, him shirtless. Me disheveled. Text. This is why I broke off my engagement. Judge for yourselves. And the world judged me. The photo went viral in less than 3 hours. A mutual friend shared it. Then another, then a local gossip page, and when I realized it was in Facebook groups, WhatsApp chains, forums, with my name, with tags, with insults. What kind of trash do you have to be to sleep with your fiancé's brother? Look at her slutty face even when she's asleep. I don't believe her, she surely did it 1,000 times before. And the brother? What kind of traitorous rat? It wasn't just me, it was Jose too. It became known at his university, in his faculty, in his circles. He went from being the quiet, good guy to being the one who slept with his brother's fiancée. And it wasn't that I felt sorry for him, it was that for the first time I understood the size of the disaster I had caused. I went to work, I lasted 3 hours, 3. And in those 3 I heard giggles, whispers, people looking at me as if I had leprosy. A colleague told me in the bathroom, no se sos valiente o completamente inconscient. I wouldn't come if I were you. That afternoon my boss asked me to take a break to reflect. It wasn't a formal suspension, it was worse. A disguised exile. I went out into the street, opened my phone. Alvaro had published a second story, a screenshot of a chat between us where I drunkenly wrote, "Now you know what it feels like, you son of a bitch, you started it. I just finished the game." Below his text, cuckold? Yes, but an idiot never. I won't let them paint me as the bad guy. This is what she sent me after sleeping with my brother the same night. And that's when I lost it. Everything got mixed up in my head. Pain, shame, anger, fear, confusion. My phone vibrated with notifications, insults, memes, screenshots, and even threats. A girl wrote to me, "Do you think it's funny to destroy families? I hope something worse happens to you." I went to look for Jose. I found him at his parents' house. He didn't want to talk to me. His mother opened the door. He can't have visitors, she said. He's destroyed. I'm destroyed too. Oh, really? She looked at me coldly. Because from where I see it, you lit the match, doused the house with gasoline, and now you're crying because you didn't know it was going to explode. Her son manipulated me. Did he force you? Did he drug you? Did he threaten you? I didn't know what to answer, I just left. That night I locked myself in the damp room I rented and cried like I had never cried before. Not for Alvaro, not for Jose, for me, for what I had been, for what I destroyed. And yet, in some dirty corner of my mind, I still believed that Alvaro had been cruel. Not for having discovered everything, but for having exposed it, for having made public what could have been discussed in private, for having dragged me with my name, face, and context to digital scorn. Did I not deserve for him to yell at me in person? Did I not have the right to be heard? I decided to try. One last time I wrote to him. Nothing. I called him. He hung up. I went to his work. He had security escort me out. I didn't give up. I waited for him at the exit. Alvaro. I shouted when I saw him walking. I just want to talk. He stopped. He looked at me. His eyes were no longer cold, they were dead. What do you want? Talk, please. Talk about what? About how you messed with my brother and then had me arrested. It wasn't like that. I thought you had cheated on me. And yet you didn't ask? You didn't give me the benefit of the doubt. It hurt. I wasn't thinking clearly. You weren't thinking? He manipulated me. Jose showed me the video and you spread your legs just the same. Alvaro, please. Don't call me by my name. Silence. And you know what's worse, he continued. What part of me still loves you? What part of me still wonders what would have happened if you had talked to me? But the other part hates you, repudiates you. I hate myself too. No, not enough. I suffered too. You suffered because your lie went wrong. Not because you didn't know what you were doing. And with that he left. I never saw him again. I never heard from him again. All that remained was his shadow and the whispers of the world calling me slut under their breath. Traitor, guilty. Everyone has a version of my story. For some, I am the crazy woman who slept with her fiancé's brother just because. For others, the manipulated one, the victim of a deep fake and a resentful brother. For most, I am a joke, a warning, just another viral post on the net. Never be like her. But no one stopped to think about everything I could have been if Alvaro had simply listened to me. Yes, I ruined it. Yes, I made a mistake. An unforgivable one that I myself don't know how to clean up, but he wasn't perfect, not for kissing someone. He didn't, but for leaving me alone in the worst part. When I showed him the video, instead of sitting down and telling me this isn't real, he scoffed. He laughed, called me stupid. When I kicked him out of his house, our house, instead of yelling that he loved me or asking why, he let himself be handcuffed. And then, when we discovered the truth, instead of throwing me a rope to get out of the hole, he pushed me deeper, published my photo, shared our messages, handed me over to everyone's judgment as if he were a martyr and I a medieval witch. And I know what many people think. You deserved it. But what no one wants to admit is that everything could have been avoided with a conversation, just one. If he had taken my face in his hands, looked me in the eyes and said, I didn't do that, perhaps I wouldn't have reacted like that. Perhaps it wouldn't have ended in that night with Jose. Perhaps I wouldn't be writing this from a one-window apartment, jobless, without family, without dignity. But he chose silence and then humiliation. I say it with pain, with anger, with shame. Alvaro failed me too. Not for what he did to me, but for what he didn't do. He didn't save me when he still could. Am I justifying what I did? No, but I'm not the only one to blame for all of this going to hell. I was the bomb, he the spark. And Jose, the one who purposely threw the match. Now everything is burned. I have no friends. Claudia no longer answers me. Merlin changed her number. Jose disappeared. They told me he left the city, that he asked to change universities, that even his family cut him off because of the shame. And I'm still here living firsthand what it's like to become a public mistake. Every time someone recognizes me on the street, they lower their voice. Every time I go into a job interview, I feel like they know. Every time I look in the mirror, I don't recognize myself. And worst of all, sometimes I still dream of Alvaro, of his laughter, of his way of looking at me, of what could have been. If only we had talked, if only he had given me a chance, maybe today I would be his wife. I would have a home, a future. But instead, he chose to expose me, abandon me, hand me over to a pack of strangers hungry for drama. And I just wanted justice, I just wanted it to hurt less, but I ended up paying the highest price, the price of a lie. Comment 1. You slept with your fiancé's brother, and you're still playing the victim. This is the lowest I've ever seen. Protagonist's response. I'm not playing the victim, but I did expect someone who loved me to try to understand why I reacted that way. I don't justify what I did, but I also didn't deserve to be publicly destroyed. Comment 2. Betrayal comes as a combo. She unfaithful, the brother traitor. And on top of that you want to be understood. How disgusting. Protagonist's response. You don't know what it's like to feel betrayed and broken. I'm not saying I acted well, but it wasn't something planned. It was emotional desperation. Sometimes you act out of pain, not logic. Comment 3. She thought she was being cheated on, and instead of talking like an adult, she decided to destroy a family. Unjustifiable. Protagonist's response. Yes, I should have talked. I know, but the video broke me. I felt like everything we had built was a lie. It was an impulse from anger and sadness, not coldness. Comment 4. It was a mistake. I was hurt, always with excuses, but when it came to sleeping with his brother, your hand didn't tremble. Comment 5. You blame everyone but yourself, Alvaro, Jose, your friends, the video, but no one forced you to do what you did. Protagonist's response. Yes, I take responsibility, but that doesn't mean there isn't context. His brother showed me the video just before he emotionally approached me. It was manipulation too. Comment 6. The worst part is you don't even regret it. You're really bothered that you were exposed, right? Not what you did. Protagonist's response. I swear I do regret it. You don't know how many nights I cried alone because of this. I didn't just lose Alvaro, I lost everything that I was. It's just that it's no longer useful to apologize. Comment 7. How do you expect understanding if you didn't have a drop of empathy for your partner? Pure selfishness. Comment 8. I'm secondhand embarrassed by how you justify yourself. You wanted to teach him a lesson and you ended up digging your own grave. Comment 9. This woman's level of emotional manipulation is impressive. She even blames Alvaro for not saving her. What more do you want? Comment 10. This is what happens when people believe that revenge is a solution. You didn't want to talk, you wanted to destroy.